skip getting a coronary calcium score. Number one, if you're young and probably have too little calcium to detect, since calcium in your arteries is related to aging, you would skip it. Number two, if you're at low risk for a heart attack. Number three, if you already know you're at high risk for a heart attack. Number four, if you've already had symptoms of heart disease. Or number five, if you've already had a coronary calcium test. And if you do get a coronary calcium test, be sure that you do it in a facility connected with your doctor. Find out if it's covered by your insurance and make sure your doctor gets the results and interprets them. Don't use one of those mobile units that is driving around, doing medical tests on people. Though there's no tracing of those. You never know who did what, where, when, what their qualifications are. Don't do that, okay? The bottom line is that this is just one more tool for determining your risk for a heart attack. And the goal is to find out if you're at significant risk and then do things to lower your risk. So that does it for coronary artery calcium. And next week we'll surge ahead with options for lowering your risk for a heart attack in the herbal and botanical category. Do you see how one podcast after another builds on the last to give you this vast array of every option and tell you every detail about things as we go along? You are always going to be much better off learning things in a sequential, logical, connected fashion than jumping around all willy-nilly, learning this tidbit, then learning that tidbit, then learning something. Learning that way is not education. It's individual, isolated sound bites that you think are fact. And usually everything depends on something. When you hear a soundbite in isolation and it sounds like it's a gospel or something that will never change, you should always have doubt, because depending on a situation, anything can change. And the whole point is to learn the facts, learn the principles, learn the basic foundation of things so that you can connect the dots and make sense of it. And when you can make sense of things, then you can come up with logical solutions on your own without having to be told what to do, and without succumbing to fear that you get every time a girlfriend opens her mouth and says something about anything. And it's usually a girlfriend who is completely ignorant, has no education herself, doesn't know anything, and shouldn't be talking at all. But the people who know the least tend to talk the most. So what I'm trying to do with this education is give you everything you need to know so that you can confidently make decisions and not have any doubt about what you're doing for yourself. And one of the things I teach women is I teach them to add the two words "for me" to every sentence they utter about menopause, because it's an individual thing that does not, it's never the same between two women. There's no two women who are alike. And no matter how similar you may be in other ways, your menopause may be very different. I want every woman to know that her menopause is entirely unique and that she should handle it as such. And if you're busy comparing notes with other people or doing what someone else is doing, you're probably sabotaging yourself and you don't even know it. So don't worry about your girlfriends. Don't worry about what they're doing. I think you should talk about menopause. I think you should definitely share it just like you do everything else: periods, pregnancy, PMS, puberty, everything else. You should talk about menopause. I wanted to get out in the open. That's why I have a broadcast called The State of Menopause in the World Today. It's in a horrible state. No one talks about it but me. No, get out there and talk about it like crazy. Share the education, but don't pass judgment on each other. Don't sabotage each other. Don't tell each other facts. Let each person learn the facts and apply them to themselves. The whole beauty of my consultations that I do is that I tailor everything to the individual woman. And when you have a consultation with me, I give you the whole foundation of this whole education, and then I insert your particular information into that basic science information to help you make the best decisions for you. And it's a wonderful, wonderful way to see how the facts apply to you. And then you don't have to wonder if you're doing the right thing, because you see the science is the same for everybody. The science is science. It's just facts. But then when you see how you fit into it, it helps you tremendously know how to decide what's best for you. And that's what I do with consultations. And you can schedule a consultation with me at menopausetailor.me. That's my website. And when you schedule a consultation, let me just tell you, I invite you to give me as much information on yourself as you'd like, because my whole goal is to tailor it. I can't tailor anything if I don't know anything about you. So I tell you to tell me all these details about you, and then I create a document for you. And it's usually about 70 pages long. And I send it to you 72 hours before the consultation, because then you can read it and then you have a foundation for a good conversation that is productive. Because if you don't know anything, you can waste the whole consultation trying to get oriented to the basic facts. But I give you all that in the document. So by the time you have the consultation, you know more than 90% more than most doctors. I always tell women that the document that I make for them gives them a new problem. It puts them in the position of knowing 90% more than most doctors. And I kid you not, it really does. And so you get all this information, but then you're able to use it and make progress during the consultation with trying to tailor everything in your way and make decisions about what you want to do for managing your menopause. And I help you learn how to go about doing that. So it's a wonderful partnership, and I take all the time, to do all this for you because I want you to succeed. And know that I will help you manage your menopause any way you want. I don't have a product or an angle. I'm not selling anything. I have education as my only product. And so the goal is to get the education, which will serve as a toolkit of items that help you what you want to manage your menopause your way. And you will not waste any time with any practitioners who don't know what they're doing. And a lot of them don't know what they're doing. The vast majority don't know what they're doing. Okay? Menopause is the most neglected topic on planet Earth. Even though 50% of the world's population spends 50% of their lives in the state of menopause. The state of menopause in the world today is dismal. It's very sad, and it shouldn't be this way. I am trying to change that. I want to have a menopause revolution. And that requires women to wake up, stop the denial, decide that they want better, and learn about this so that they can demand more. Because I always say, until women demand more, they're not going to get more. And that's a sad thing, but it's the truth. So I teach you how to get everything you want for your menopause, and you will feel empowered for the rest of your life to make the rest of your life the best of your life. That's what this whole thing is about. And so I am here to help make that happen for you, and I hope that you value that and take advantage of it. The very best way to get the very best out of this education is to schedule a consultation at menopausetailor.me. I have many other resources for learning. I have a book, I have webinars, I have the whole education on a set of DVDs, I have articles, I have a YouTube channel, and I have this podcast. However you learn, I think I've got the bases covered. I will help you no matter what. The key is make sure you take the time to get the education. It's what you deserve. So I will leave you here now. And I will see you and talk to you at the next podcast. Take care. Bye-bye.